Kingdom Ox, we are back. Thank you, Kingdom citizens. Thank you for watching. Kingdom Ox everywhere, all the social medias. Today, we have somebody in here I feel like is special. Um, I'll say he's a server because he just served, he helped me serve this in a few minutes ago. So, but he's a hybrid, and a hybrid, he can rap, he can sing, he can dance. He is an amazing artist. He got a heart of gold, bro. We have the one, the only, Mike Tezy in the building. Mike, what's up, bro?
What's good, bro? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I'm so glad you're here with me. And I want to just say, give you your flowers, man. Your grind has been amazing, bro. And I want to say thank you, man, because like anytime I ask for something, man, I'm little old me. I don't have to. You don't have to do anything, but you be like, I got you, and I'm like, oh, what? Okay, you know what I'm saying? So I'm appreciative of this time, bro. Like I'm thankful, man. I am thankful, my G. Bro, let's just start this off, man. Let's start from the beginning. Let's start it from West Virginia to Winston Salem, North Carolina. Let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about it, bro.
Let's get it, man. So yeah, growing up in West Virginia, man, like my whole family was like super talented. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My dad could sing. My dad was writing music and stuff as I was growing up. My mom could sing. My sister could sing. I didn't think I had that gift. You know what I'm saying? So I was always the background guy. I was either just dancing. I think I started dancing when I was like 3. Started playing the drums when I was like 4. I was terrible at it. But as times went on, you know what I'm saying, I got better. So I felt like that was my gift, was either just dancing or, playing the drums, like just being a background guy, like just trying to support whoever was like in the front, you know what I'm saying? So there's videos that we have, like VHS videos, mind you, like of, where my sister would be singing and stuff, and I'm just background, just like just dancing, doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so like those moments it's so crazy to look back at now. Just because I think I didn't know what my calling was in my life. I didn't know what the plan was that God had for me. And so, like I said, growing up in a family like that where everybody got a gift, everybody got something going on, and you feel like you don't have nothing. It'll make you, you know what I'm saying, get in a different type of headspace. And I don't know how far I can go into that headspace because like we got flagged on TikTok the other day. I was sharing over there. Yeah. And so in those times I was battling depression. I was battling, these thoughts of wanting to unalive myself, if you will.
Oh, wow.
Growing up, you know what I'm saying? And so battling that was tough. And you wouldn't really know it, you know what I'm saying, because of like the way I moved or certain things. Like I was always laughing or had a smile on my face, but you wouldn't know that what I was dealing with internally. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So as time went on, we finally moved to North Carolina, I think in 2000. And I think I shared my testimony before where I was, hit by a drunk driver and stuff like that at the age of 7. So that was before we even moved out here.
Yeah.
And so we finally moved out here in 2000. And it was definitely like a change for sure. Like I was not used to like the vibe type of time people was on, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what, God, this is gonna be like a fresh start, you know what I'm saying? So we came down here, went from a public school to a private school, and had the uniforms and all of that stuff. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. There's no way they can pick on me now. There's no way I could, you know what I'm saying, be dealing with the same stuff. And still was dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it didn't matter what it was, they found something to talk about. And so that just added on to like the depression, the thoughts of why am I here? Like, God, why me? Why did you make me like this? You know what I'm saying? All those times, you know what I'm saying, I just didn't know what God was getting me ready for, preparing me for. And so there's so much that I had to endure, you know what I'm saying, just to keep pushing, to keep fighting, to keep going. You know what I'm saying? So I was just this guy. I wanted to dance. I wanted to play the drums. I was in every band imaginable, the marching band, the jazz band, the concert band. I was doing all that stuff. Found poetry, you know what I'm saying, in like maybe 11th or 12th grade, started playing around with poetry and stuff. And then we used to freestyle during lunch. And so we were beating on the tables and stuff and just freestyling, just having fun. Fast forward to college when I took it a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
And so like my sister went to the same college that I went to. Well, she went there before me because she's my older sister.
Got you.
She's like bigging me up to all of her friends, like, yo, my brother can dance, he can rap, he can do this, he can do that, da 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 da. And I'm just like, why are you telling these people that? Mind you, I was shy, I was to myself, I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just in the background. Like that was my main thing. I just wanted to chill in the back, not even nothing extra. But as soon as I get there, you know what I'm saying, I'm introduced to so many different people. And there's a lot of people that do different things at this school. And so it was an art school, but they didn't have dance, they didn't have music. It was mainly just like videography, photography, graphic design, stuff like that. And so, you know, amongst those peers, like just learning different people and stuff, a lot of people wanted to do music while we was there. And so they had like their own studio setups in their college apartments. And so this one day, my sister was like, I'm about to go over to this person's house and record. You should come through, you know what I'm saying? Just hang out with us. I'm like, all right. Because like I said, I was shy. I was to myself. I ain't really know nobody. I ain't know nobody like that. And so I just went over there. We recorded one night. And they actually uploaded it either the same night or like the next day or something like that, and tagged everybody in the school on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah, so they uploaded it to Facebook at that time, and was tagging everybody. People started hearing it around the school. They were like, "Yo, man, like this on fire, da 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 da." And that dude in the second verse kind of went crazy too. I was like, "Oh, that was me," you know what I'm saying? That was me. And so from there, I just kept, you know, working with this craft, with this gift that I kind of just discovered. Like I was just playing around.
Yeah.
And like I said, I didn't take it really serious until like maybe my last semester of college. And so I was like creating a mixtape. I was doing all the things, you know what I'm saying? Like in this homie's studio, I was like, yo, bro, you cool if I come over today? Like I'll finish my work, go over his house, go over his apartment, and just knock out a ton of remixes. And that's where this all started, like just doing these remixes. And so that was the mixtape. That was what it consisted of, was just a ton of remixes of whatever songs was popular. And it wasn't even like super like locked in on a particular sound or genre at all. Like I did not know what I was going to be doing. I would talk about God here and there, but it wasn't like I'm strictly doing Jesus music. Like it wasn't nothing like that. Like I was literally fun and trying to find my sound.
Yeah.
And so I made this mixtape called Tyree versus Teezy. And so my government last name is Tyree, and the Teezy aspect was the show, stage name, whatever. So I was still trying to, you know, figure out who that was. Like, who is Mike Tezy? You know, what's the difference of the two? Like, what exactly am I trying to do? And so, like I said before, being shy, being a person that's to themselves, that was the Tyree. And then the Tezy was like a front of like, yo, I'm him. Like, I'm out here. I'm being, you know what I'm saying, friendly.
Yeah.
Like, and so like that was like the start of it all for real. And like I said, as time went on, I finally started like diving in more with what I wanted to do sonically. And I think around that time too is when I got the phone call of one of my friends that was shot and killed.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so he was the one that gave me the name Mike Tezy. And so like we were in high school at the time. Like we were in high school. I was always dancing. Like I said, I was hooping. So we was the co-captains of the basketball team. And so I was like one of the jock nerds. Like I was super like into my schooling and stuff like that. So I always made great grades. I always had honor roll, all of that good stuff. But I love to hoop. I love to dance. I love to do these different things. And so, like I said, we were the co-captains of the basketball team. And you know, fast forward the tape, I'm in college. This is getting closer to like my last semester. I'm about to graduate. I really don't know where I want to go with this thing. You know what I'm saying? So I get this call that he was shot and killed in like literally blocks from our old high school. He was just walking, stray bullet got him, bow. Like, yeah. And so that was like the rude awakening that I needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so Mike, I have a question for you. I didn't mean to cut you off. What was that part of like you going from like a young kid dealing with depression? Because I mean, as a young kid, what would make you start dealing with depression that heavy as a youngster? You know what I mean? Because sometimes we may have people watching, and I just want to give people that opportunity to like even get wisdom out of like, was it bullying that was making you depressed, or was it just like you not feeling enough even as a young age? You know what I mean?
It was all of it. So it was the bullying. I hated the way I looked. I hated life.
Wow.
Like I said before, like my family being super talented, I didn't discover my talents yet. You know what I'm saying? But even as a kid, I had wisdom beyond my years. And so I could see different things, you know what I'm saying? And I was able to what's the word I'm looking for? I was able to kind of maneuver in a certain way where people really didn't know what I was dealing with, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
internally I knew, but I still didn't know like the depths of it. I didn't know like the full intel of like what I was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know that this was just the enemy, you know what I'm saying, trying to attack me and take me out before my time.
Yeah.
And so like I said, dealing with that depression was because, like I said, every day at school I'm getting bullied. I got into a ton of fights when I was a kid because I'm trying to fight back and, you know, show that I belong here, da, 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 da. But
Yeah.
inside, I still didn't feel like I belonged. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, having a family with so many talents and you don't think you have one, you feel like the black sheep. You feel like an outcast. You feel like an outsider. You know what I'm saying? So that's the things that I was dealing with at a very early age, and I didn't want to be here. Like I was telling this story on like the last interview I did a couple of days ago, and like I used to go to church and I would have this mean mug, not even knowing that I was doing it. It was just how I was wearing it. Like I didn't realize it. But this deacon would come up to me and give me these Holy Ghost handshakes and just be putting money in my pocket. And it would brighten my day. Like I'll be smiling, you know what I'm saying? But like he didn't realize it, but you know, it definitely blessed me because I wasn't expecting it, you know what I'm saying? But he was doing whatever to try to see me smile or see me in a better place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it definitely, you know, helped. Not saying I was money hungry as a kid, but it definitely helped me in those moments for sure.
But did that like was that something that led to you? Because to me, to go from a kid that's dealing with depression, bullying, to becoming a captain of a team, it's like, oh, when did that shift officially happen for you? You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, like I don't even know if the shift had even happened yet.
Oh
Because
wow.
in the midst of me, you know, dealing with the bullying and stuff, I was still a popular guy, which was crazy. I was super popular, but I was still a nerd, and I would still get picked on for being a nerd, for having both my parents, for all of these different things. Like
Yeah.
I was getting
Yeah.
picked on for that, being super dark skinned, like just all these different things that people would try to use to, you know, speak against me or speak down to me. And so the shift, I don't know if it fully like happened until maybe like 10th, 11th grade. And I was still getting picked on, which was crazy, but I just had more confidence. You know what I'm saying? So I knew I could hoop, I knew I could dance, I knew I could play the drums. Like these are things that I knew. So I just stood on those principles, knowing I did that, knowing I was good at art. So I was drawing things. I actually designed the logo for my high school.
Wow.
So like, yeah, it was just a lot of things that I was involved in that I kind of like just wrapped myself in. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Gotcha.
I stayed busy with different things, always hooping, always drumming, always drawing and dancing. Like I just stayed with those things to where like whatever the outside world was talking about, I just, you know, didn't pay attention to it. Like even though it was still affecting me, I didn't allow it to. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to
Yeah.
show it to them that it was affecting me the way it was. And like it was to the point where I was having like threats, like where they was talking about hanging me in the street, like just different things like that. It was crazy. Like,
Wait.
yeah.
So, like hanging you, like was he like white folk or was he
No, that's
like
what I'm saying. So it
black?
was crazy. So the school, like we had transitioned school. So the first school I went to was like a predominantly like white,
Yeah.
Hispanic, stuff like that school. And then I transitioned to a predominantly black school with some Hispanic
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And so that transition happened, I think I was in the 8th grade. And so, you know, coming to this new school, nobody knows who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like my sister, of course, went to the same school as well because my parents were super into like making sure we're covered, making sure we're protected, making sure, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, they know exactly where both of us are at the same time. And they want to make sure we was good.
Yeah.
And so like that's from kindergarten all the way up to, you know, till we graduated. Like that's how they was. Like they was like making sure
Wow.
they babies was good. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
go to this school. My sister's going to the 9th grade. I'm going to the 8th grade. And I'm still, you know what I'm saying, getting bullied because I was shorter, you know what I'm saying, at that time, dark skin with big feet, but I was short. It didn't make sense. Big nose,
Yeah.
big ears, all of these things. I didn't really grow into myself um, until later on. And so people just found those things to nitpick. And mind you, we're still at a uniform school. So everybody's wearing the same things, but it didn't matter. They would still find something to pick on about. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay,
Yeah.
color navy ain't the way it's supposed to be. Like, just different things like that, just nitpicky type things. But it still was, you know, tearing down my self-esteem. But you
Wow.
know, in spite of that, I was still pressing through, you know what I'm saying, and staying true to who I was. Like, I didn't want to quote unquote dim my light in a sense even though I didn't want to showcase it as well, because like I said, I was kind of shy into myself,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, I'm pretty good at this, da 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 da. So I would just do certain things. People are like, oh, are you nice at this, da da da. So they would say it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When they would realize it or when they notice something, they would like, oh, you can dance, bro, you going crazy, da 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 da. And so, like fast forward, like I said, to like 10th grade, 11th grade, when I was finally kind of like finding myself and finding my confidence. Like I was combating amongst myself internally, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to stay confident, but I'm still tearing myself down. So like
Wow.
hearing everything that people have said about me over the years, I start saying it to myself because it's like you hear it enough times, you're gonna start believing it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that was a lot of the things that I was dealing with, growing up. And like I said, finally getting out of high school, stuff like that, still trying to find myself in college. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm
Mm.
still, dealing with the trauma as a kid, as a grown man, or as an older, young man, like, and trying to, really figure out what those issues were. How do I pinpoint it? How do I deal with that? How do I move on? And it was truly just God, like for real, that finally kind of broke that stronghold that was on me. And sometimes, like the enemy is cunning. He's slick. He'll try to slide it back in there, pause, but he'll try to like slide the shots, back in your mind and like make you question like, what is God doing? Am I really
Yeah.
for this? Like, do I have what I need? Do I really have the gifts to do this? So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Is Mike Tezy, like you said earlier, when your first mixtape,
yeah.
Teezy versus your last name, was Mike Tezy something where it was like your Superman moment, where it was like finally,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm Clark Kent? People
yeah.
don't have to know Clark Kent; they can know Superman kind of vibe.
Exactly. So, like I said, I was making Tyree versus Teezy when I got to college, and like I said, my friend from high school, he's the one that gave me the name. Like I never was like I'm gonna be a rapper. I never thought that.
Yeah.
I was just just dancing. But he was like, "Yo, you dance like Chris Breezy. I'm gonna start calling you Mike Tezy."
Oh wow.
It just stuck. You know what I'm saying? From there, so everybody was just calling, "Hey Teezy, yo Mike, yo Teezy, yo." It just stuck from there, literally. So I get to college, and that was the nickname people knew me by. It was Mike Tezy, Mike Tezy. And so I was like, man, I'm about to start this rapping thing. I'm gonna just keep the name Mike Tezy, like I'm just go.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I started making the mixtape, just trying to, like I said, find myself, find my sound, and
Yeah.
in the midst of doing that, I was just testing out like different genres. I didn't really have a voice to sing. I had the ear for it, but I couldn't execute, you know what I'm saying, at that time. And
Yeah.
so I was mainly just, trying to get these bars off. Like I was just rapping, freestyling, doing different things, and literally just trying to find a sound that just sounded good. Cause like I said, I was having fun. I was just playing around with this concept or idea of being a rapper. So yeah.
Was that something that when you finally like, hey, okay, I'm good at all these things, like I'm good at singing, I'm good at rapping, I'm good at dancing, was
Yeah.
it a point where even making music, like was it a point where you was trying to figure out which lane to go through versus being like, man, bump it, I'm gonna use all of them?
Bro, literally where I'm at. So, like, there's been so many people over the years telling me, hey, bro, just stick with rapping, bro. You really can rap. You really got bars. Then I got people that say, no, bro, just sing, bro, because people want to sing. So I'm like, bro, I'm hearing it from both sides. People wanting me to do
Yeah.
certain things and make these choices and decisions. And I'm the type of person, like, I don't want to box God in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like God can use any capacity, anything that I'm good at, any gift that He's given me to get the glory. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to do it all. I'm going to keep rapping. I'm going to keep singing. I'm going to keep, just creating this music that God has given me because it's not just for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
there's people that are attached to my rapping. There's people that's attached to my singing. There's different people's breakthroughs attached to either one of those things too. So I'm just like, man, I got to be faithful. I got to be diligent. I got to keep going, you know what I'm saying, with the gifts that God gave me. Like, for
Yeah.
real.
But was one of those gifts? Do you even find out like now that like even singing open doors, that once you get in rapping be like, oh, I didn't know he rapped too, like, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. So there's people that have discovered me based off of one or the other. You know what I'm saying? People that have found me from rapping. But one of my first viral videos was me singing.
Yeah.
So that's what blew my mind because people was telling me, bro, just stick with rapping. Around this time, they was just like, yo, just stick with rapping. And
Wow.
I had made this little remix to, I think it was Chris Brown, Under the Influence. And that joint went crazy, like over 2 million views on Instagram, 1 million and some odd views. It was like crazy to me because I'm like, yo, like I've been rapping all these years, but people want to sing it now. So I'm like, okay, I got people telling me I should stick to rapping, but the singing joint worked. I got people telling me I need to keep singing. So I'm like, okay, which one do I do? And somebody actually was trying to book me for a show. I think it was last year or the year before. And they were like, yeah, so we want Teezy to come, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I don't know if does he rap too? I'm like, what y'all think he just sing? Like what? Yeah, we saw a video of him sing. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of people that don't even know all the things that I do. And I'm like, man, I've been showcasing all this stuff for years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been rapping for years, I've been singing for years, I've been dancing for years.
Yeah.
And it's like people still don't know. So when I pull up and do a show at they church or at the venues, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and I start dancing, people go crazy because they're like, I didn't know Teezy could dance. And I'm like, yo, I got to showcase this even more because I tell my testimony about being paralyzed twice.
Yeah.
And people are like, yo, he's dancing. He shouldn't be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, like I said, there's so many people that are connected to different parts of Teezy or different parts of who I am as an artist. And I'm like, yo, I still got to keep showcasing it all because, like, one day somebody's gonna realize, okay, he's the same guy that did the rapper song about Forgive Him. He's the same guy that did the Under the Influence of this song, and they're just gonna tie it together. So I'm gonna just for real. Yeah.
I want you to go back to the part of, like you said on the mixtape, that you was that you talked about God, right? Was you a believer back then? Like, was you sold out to Jesus and like this is the mixtape gonna be?
So this was I'm a PK. My parents are pastors, you know what I'm saying? So I knew church, you know what I'm saying? Like that was mainly what I knew.
Yeah.
I was a church boy, you know what I'm saying? But the thing was, like I said, I knew church, but I didn't know God for myself.
Gotcha.
And so around this time is when I'm still trying to figure out and find who I am, but also find out who God is too. So I would say different things like, I think I had a song on there. It was called Never Forgotten. And so that was like, I don't even tell people like that was my first song that I actually wrote like that because I didn't really consider it a great song, but people was locked in with it. And so, like I said, I had a ton of remixes on there. And then I had this one song that was Never Forgotten. And I low-key still remember the verse, but I ain't gonna say it right now. But I was just talking about how I'm never forgotten or forsaken. And I was talking about how God will never leave you nor forsake you. Like I was literally just talking about that in this song. But in the other remixes, I might say the N-word, or I might say just different things.
Yeah.
Like, what are you trying to say, bro? Like, what are you really presenting to us? Like, what is going on? Like, what is your message? And so just like I said, finding myself, figuring out what I wanted to talk about in that time, and I still didn't know. Like I was still just playing around with stuff. And so, like I said, when I got that call that my friend was killed, that literally was what I needed. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, my friends had left, so we was about to go on Christmas break, and like all of my roommates had left, and I was in the house by myself, and my parents was on their way to pick me up, and I was just praying and crying. And just crying out to God. I'm like, yo, God, like that could have been me. Like we the same age, this, we that. Like, that could have been my life. That could have been me walking down the road. And in that moment, I didn't really know, what I'm saying, what else to do. But I just started crying out and ended up writing this song called "Show Me Your Way." And it was like a worship song. And I'm like, man, I'm not a worship artist. I'm not this, da 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 da. I'm not a singer for real. Like, what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really think that I had a voice for singing. But I just wrote this song and I was just saying, show me your path, oh God, show me your way. Like, it was just a lot of different things that I was asking God for. I was like literally pleading for God to show me his way. And even as a kid, like I would pray these prayers of, God, I want to hear your voice. God, I want to hear what your voice sounds like. Like, talk to me, like, talk to my parents. Like, I was always seeking after God. And I felt like he didn't want nothing to do with me because I never heard his voice. I never, discovered. So that's stuff that had me questioning, like, God, are you real for real? Even though I had so many, different testimonies and miracles where God moved in my life, I still was questioning God because I wanted to hear his voice. I wanted to hear his voice like clear as day. I'm hearing your voice. I wanted that, what I'm saying, relationship. And so I'm just pleading. I'm crying. I wrote this song. My parents finally show up to pick me up. And I get in the car and I was like, yo, mom and dad, I got a call that one of my friends got killed, but I made this song like right before y'all picked me up. So I started singing it to them and they start crying.
Wow.
Wow, son, like, man. And like I said, my dad was a writer as well. Like my dad still writes music and stuff too. And just hearing, you know, his insight on like what he felt about what I was writing. And he actually took it up another notch. And he was like, give me direction, Lord, that I might see your glory shine through me. And it took the song to the next level. And I wasn't there yet. Like sonically, I didn't even know how to create this song. I'm just like singing melodies, like just like, yo, God, this is my prayer. Like this is how I started communicating with God, like just through song.
Yeah.
And so that was literally the start of it all, man. Like from there, just started, you know, diving into it even more. And like I said, we was around Christmas break, and I finally made the decision to rededicate my life to God.
Wow.
And so from there on, I was still trying to do this dancing thing. And like I think we talked about this before, like on Track Stars, but like I had my mind set on I still wanted to dance. Like that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a dancer for God. I was like, is that even a thing? Like, can people do that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I get back to college. I tell my friends, I was like, yo, I rededicated my life to God. I feel like we can still do this dance thing. We can still keep the crew and everything, but let's do it for God. And they was like, okay, that's fire, bro. Let's do it. Let's do it. And nobody, you know what I'm saying, really wanted to lock in with me and really do that joint. So, and at that time, like I said, I was mainly dancing to like, you know, Kirk Franklin, Ty Tribbett, Jay Moss, Mary, like just different ones like that. But
yeah,
I was really tapped in with the hip hop and R&B songs. Like that's what I wanted to dance to.
Yeah.
And so like after this is like way after Tyree versus Teezy, way after like I started creating, I started working on another mixtape. And this one was called Putting God in the Mix.
Oh, wow.
And so I was still doing the Christian remixes. And that's why I was doing them. I was mainly just trying to do them for myself so I could dance to them. Like, that was it. Like I was just making
wait. You didn't know nothing about the scene of Christian hip hop, Christian R&B?
I knew, but I didn't know. Like I wasn't really tapped in like that. So I knew of Lecrae. Okay. I knew of Cross Movement. I knew of Truth because he was on a Kirk Franklin song that I had danced to. Gotcha. So that's crazy to say, but I knew of them because of just those different things, those different moments. And I had a friend in high school too. He gave me a mixtape of like a ton of, you know, Christian rappers. And I'm just like, listening to this, like I'm not tapped in with that right now. Like I don't really, you know, care about, but he knew I was a PK. He knew I was in church, but I was mainly listening to gospel music. And then I would turn on Drake or I would turn on Lil Wayne or I would turn on Chris Brown, Busta Rhymes, like just these different artists that I kind of just, you know, was leaning towards sonically. Like that's just what I hear. And so he gave me this mixtape, and I think it had Cross Movement on there. I think it was The Truth on there. I think it was Lecrae. So like I said, I knew of those names, but I didn't know their music like that. So I was like, I want to hear this, but with a Jesus spin to it. So I'm gonna do the Busta Rhymes remix, and it be me on the song. Yeah, and I danced to that, and so that's what I was doing. And in the midst of that, I was still a part of the jerk movement. So yeah, you're a jerk. I know. Like, all that stuff. I was a part of the movement. I was like one of the first Christian rappers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Did you ever hear I remember P4CM back in the day did a song called I had a song, I can't remember off back, but it was like off that jerking sound. Pause.
No, I have not heard it. I'm gonna check it out though for sure.
If I find the video, but it had that vibe to it, but it only had like one song. I think they did it because like kind of what you was doing because it was popular and then people were vibing to it, so they just created something. So that's very interesting to hear that. But I always say that did you not want to give the scene a like a chance?
So that wasn't the thing. So like I said, I knew of it, but I didn't know of it. Like I didn't know I was really a thing for real. Like I didn't know like to go and try to how to find these songs. I wasn't looking for them. You know. Got you. And so like I said, I was just trying to find songs that I actually rocked with, like songs that I was dancing to. I was like, yo, let me flip this song and see if I can, you know, dance to this still. You know what I'm saying? And like it definitely taught me how to create songs, song structure, all of that stuff. That's what I learned just based off of doing those remixes. And so it wasn't a sense of like I didn't want to give the space a chance. It was mainly like I just didn't know how to tap in all the way. Like I said, I had this mixtape And I knew of I don't know if you even know who this guy is, Little IROC.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I knew of him. He's not even doing Christian music anymore. But as a kid, my cousins had this mixtape, and
Yeah.
had a CD or a mixtape or whatever at that time. And so, like I said, I knew of certain things like that, but I thought it was corny. I thought it was cheesy at that time. And so I mainly wanted to hear like real secular music or hip hop. Like that's what I wanted.
So what made it corny? And I'm not trying to get on you. This
Yeah,
is your personal opinion. I just want to know what, because it is a bunch of people out there that's just like you. Like, man, I ain't gonna mess with. It's like if I'm gonna eat if I'm gonna eat a cheeseburger, I'm gonna eat cheeseburger. I ain't gonna eat no veggie burger. But I think my question is, what is it to people like that would you would be like, man, that's cheesy, even though they could be spitting good, they could be quality productions and everything like that.
I think it was just the songs that I had heard at that
Got
time.
you. Like
okay. Little IROC was like a little kid, so it wasn't like
he had a Bow Wow influence on him too. So
you know what I'm saying? So that's what was going on around that time. After that, fast forward, and I heard like just different songs that I thought was, you know, decent or whatever, but I still wasn't like fully engaged with it. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
When I heard I Like Me from Kirk Franklin featuring The Truth, I was like, yo, he's spitting for real. I rock with that. You know what I'm saying? But I still wasn't like, I need to go tap in with his whole catalog. Like I just, at that time, that's just not what I was on. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a slay or slight to them, making them feel like they were corny. But I also grew up in a church where there was some deacons that thought they could rap. And they would get up and do these, and so God so loved me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that was kind of cheesy and corny, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. And it was just like the play on words, and I didn't want to be looked at as that. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
That was where I was coming from. Like, you know, growing up and people picking on me for different things. I was like, I don't want people to pick on me for that too. Like, I don't want to be cheesy or corny. Even though I had to go through a phase of that, like in my own mind, I felt like I was corny. Looking back now, I felt like I was cheesy in certain areas. Like I could have got better in this, better in that. But now looking back, it all taught me, you know, different things. You know what I'm saying? How to set up a bar, how to do lyrics, how to, you know what I'm saying? Just create songs that sound good. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't despise the day of small beginnings at all, because it definitely taught me a lot. And so, like, even when it comes to Christian hip hop, I don't despise the days of how they were beginning this whole genre, because that wouldn't be where it is today. You know, you wouldn't have the artists that you have today without those artists that literally paved the way. So shout out to all of them. So
do you feel like those? Do you feel like I think I have? I'll be honest with you. I have a love and hate relationship when it comes to remakes.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I think it's dope if it's a freestyle, if it's thing or whatever. But I think also too, I feel like sometimes, and it's not you, and I'm not stringing you out, but I feel like sometimes people create so much dope music that they don't really highlight their music. They more highlight their remakes. And I'm like, bro, or sis, you got a fire album. Why you not promoting none of the stuff off your project? You know what I'm saying? But I get the engagement on social media, and I get that it gives you more likes, it gives you more views. I get the engagement part, but then also I feel like if your song is as fire as that remix, then people could be like, yo, I'm gonna go pick that up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So for me, I feel like I was doing both, to where like you would see a remix, but then the next I'm promoting my song. You would see another remix, I'm promoting my song. So I was always trying to just build the audience and build the platform that I've built. And mainly showcasing that, yo, I can do this and this can sound like this. But matter of fact, you know what I'm saying, you might as well tap in with this project while you at it. If you like this remix, then you gotta like the music that I'm creating, because I got it all too. You know what I'm saying? I got the R&B vibes, I got the rap, and I got the pop, I got the afro, I got every vibe you can think of. So just tap in, you know what I'm saying? So I'm still to that point where like I can still throw a remix out there and just have fun while I'm freestyling, doing these whatever vibe that I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still going to showcase my music as well. And so I feel like if people find that mixture of doing both, then we're good. Because like I said, in this day and age of social media, you got to figure out ways to catch people's eye. You know what I'm saying? And so it's really weird now with the algorithm, the way it's set up. And it does suck because there are so many, you know what I'm saying, talented individuals in this space.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the times people get discouraged or they feel like they need to quit or throw in the towel because they're not getting the views or an engagement, the engagement that they want. You know what I'm saying? That I feel like they might deserve too. And then sometimes it's just timing too. Like it's just God's timing. I don't know. There's so many things that goes into it to where it's hard to say why certain people aren't as big as they feel like they need to be. You know what I'm
Got you.
saying? So like
Got
doing the
you.
remixes may have worked for some people, and that's all they do now. It's
Yeah.
just sticking to the remixes. And for me, the remixes that I've worked, and then I've also had songs that have worked. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep doing both. Like I said
Yeah.
before, I'm doing both.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, like it's tough because the artists that have popped off with the remixes, I've seen some of them that have mainly just kept putting the same remix, making multiple videos to it. I'm like, bro, like, why are we promoting this? Like, I get it, it worked. You know what I'm saying? I get it,
Yeah.
built an audience off of this thing, but like, why are we just promoting this? Like, you got to be making music too. Like, this is the
Yeah. Yeah.
original music.
Yeah.
And so, I guess a lot of people don't think the same way that I think. Clearly,
Yeah. Yeah.
because like I said before, it was mainly just a tool to show people that this song could sound like this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Influenced by God, this what that song could sound like. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's what I wanted
Yeah.
to do is show people like it's not corny to think of a song and have God in it. It's not cheesy to put God in the song. There's certain ways that you can do it to where it
Yeah.
still sounds good and it's fire. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that's what I
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to show. Because there's been a ton of people that have done Christian remixes. I'm not the first guy to do it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But people look at me as like a pioneer in that because I feel like I was one of the first ones that did it well, if I could say it like that. If I could say it like that without being, you know what I'm saying, too, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to honk my horn or nothing like that, but
Yeah.
I feel like I execute them very well. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And it's really shown me like there is a light in that too. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to, I don't know. I feel like that was kind of super boastful, and I did not mean it like that. But I feel like I do, execute remixes very well.
do, do
You
you
know,
feel like you're more like okay, so I'm gonna show my age. So the 50 Cent era of mixtapes, when he would
okay.
drop mixtapes, was he would remake the whole song. He would do the hook
Yeah.
and the verse,
Yeah.
and it would be like, this is my song now.
Fact.
Or do you feel like you're more like Wayne, how Wayne was, where he'd get on a song, he would turn it into your song, but he wouldn't change the hook or anything. It would just be him rapping on it. What approach do you feel like you
Yeah.
use?
I'm taking the whole song and making it sound like me.
Got
Like
you.
that's literally what it is. So it was like, yo, if I was the featured, like some of the songs too would be like if I was the featured artist on this song. But so it would be a mix of both, I guess, again.
Got
So
you.
like songs where if the hook sounded where it almost had some kind of Christian, idea behind it or something like that. I think there was a song called Battle Scars.
Okay.
I can't remember who it was by, but I think the name was Guy something. He was singing on the hook, and he was just talking about these battle scars. And I was like, man, like I could really use this and tell my testimony of how I used to try to, cut my wrist and do different things.
Wow.
And these were all battle scars. So I
Yeah.
used that song with the same hook, but I'm telling my story on the verse.
Yeah.
But then you have songs where like Under the Influence or just different ones, I would start with the vibe of what Chris Brown was doing, but I would take it and do my own thing to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the Armani White Billie Eilish song where I started with the same kind of vibe as the hook, but I come in and like, what I'm saying, chopping up the bars on the flow, you know what I'm saying? Where I'm making it my own song, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you got a mix of both of those, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I guess I'm a mix of 50 and Lil Wayne.
and you do it very well. You do it very, very good. So talk about, like you talked about earlier about God's timing. You know what I mean? Talk about. I went back on Spotify and I saw some of your old projects and stuff. When did you feel like God's timing was at the right time for you? Because you got a lot of older projects that people may now just be going back to. You know what I'm saying? But go back to that time and talk about God's timing with your music even back then.
So, man, like I was one of those ones, like I said, I was super into just creating. Like I just created a ton of music. And so like when I would look back and see like this massive folder of songs, I'm like, okay, there's a project in there. Let's just drop an album. Boom.
Yeah,
So I drop an album, push it for 2 years, drop another album, push it for 2. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I thought the game was at that time. And I feel like the shift didn't occur until like COVID hit. You know what I'm saying? So and around that time is when I had been creating this series. It was like an EP series called Season, and it was spelled SZN. And so I think I actually came down to Track Stars around that time too, like where I was just, trying to talk about stuff. And so I started with Season, then I did Season Part 2, Everything New. I did Season Part 3, The Death of Me, and then the climax of the whole thing was Harvest.
Gotcha.
And so in the midst of these EPs, I was going through different parts of times where, I was speaking and declaring for certain things in Season 1. Excuse me. And then in Season 2, like I was declaring everything was new. Like I'm starting afresh, like this different, wave that I'm on right now. And then Season Part 3 was The Death of Me. And during that season, I was dealing with a lot of things where they had to break from me. Like I had to break them off. Like I was dying to myself, like dying to the desires that I had for me, to seek after God. And so around that time is when I was leaving my job. Because I thought I was going to be this banker. I was going to be the branch manager. Like I was the assistant branch manager, but they had talked about, promoting me and different things like that. So I was like, yo, like this is what I'm about to do. I can still do music on the side. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just do it over there. And so dealing with that, I was literally still trying to find myself. And these are like years down the road where I had started, you know what I'm saying? Like in college, I'm still finding myself in all of these capacities. So I was still working a job, still doing music on the side. And even before I got to the bank, I was working in a retail store. And I feel like God had me go through all of those things and work those different jobs to literally figure out what I was going to be doing today. You know what I'm saying? So, now I got merch. I'm selling my merch. I worked at the bank. Now I know how to run my own business. You know what I'm saying? How to fund how to work money. Like I literally know all that stuff now because of what I had to deal with and go through. And so in the midst of Death of Me, I was still creating more songs. And like I said, the climax of it was Harvest. But the subtitle was Season of Manifestation.
Oh, wow.
So in that season, I was just speaking certain things and they were happening either the same day or the next day.
Wow.
It was super crazy. And so I remember this one day I was literally cleaning the house and I just had a thought. I was like, it'd be crazy if Pastor Mike Todd shared my song like he did for Paris Carriz or Aaron Cole, like these different people like he was just rocking with.
Yeah.
The next day, he shares my song Never Late.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, God. And I just went through a season of that where I would just speak or think something and it would happen just like that every time. I'm like, yo, God, what is going on? And so, like I said, this was 2020 when I finally released Harvest. And it was like I put all of the EPs together. So 4 projects, but now it's all one. It's like 42 songs. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the midst of that, like COVID hit. And so shows, none. You know what I'm saying? Like the music was not where it is today. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the year that I quit my job, I had just told this testimony like a couple of days ago too. The year that I quit my job, I looked at the amount of money that I made off of music for that 1 year, and it was like $1,000.
Oh, wow.
$1,000 the entire year off of music. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to have some kind of crazy tenacity and crazy faith in that moment to like literally listen to the voice of God and say, okay, God, I trust you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I said, I took that leap and now looking back, it's just like, man, the time flew, but it still took some time for sure. Like it feel like it took a while. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about timing, it's definitely impeccable. You know what I'm saying? Like his timing, we will never be able to really fathom, what God is thinking. We'll never be able to comprehend it because his thought is higher than ours. You know what I'm saying? So like we can have these notions and tell God, like, yo, God, I need to make it by this time. And I've been that guy too. Like, God, I want to make it by my 30th birthday. I want to make it by the time I graduate college. I want to make it by, you know what I'm saying? Like, I God, these things, knowing all the while, I really don't have control over that. Like, God has the final say. And so clearly it didn't happen when I wanted those things to happen. And I still had to trust God through it all because he knows what's best. And so, like I said, 2020, I'm still grinding. I'm still being faithful, still being diligent. But the music was not, faithful to me. It wasn't showing me love that I felt like I needed, I wasn't making the money that I wanted to make. Like I said, all the shows had dried up. And so I was contemplating going back to the bank. Like I literally wanted to
Oh, wow.
yeah. And so I tried, had the call. I called my regional manager. I was like, yo, things didn't, really work the way I wanted them to. Like, I would love to come back. He's like, oh yeah, man, let's set up a call. Da, 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 da. The call never happened. I reached out to another bank and they were saying, you're overqualified, so we can't give you the job. I said,
Oh, wow.
like, I'm trying to do this because I want peace in my home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to make sure things is good. Like all that to say, it didn't work out.
Wow.
Like God, like I thought you was for me, not against me. I thought that you was on my side. I thought that
Yeah.
like this was gonna work out. I thought I heard your voice. I thought you told me that it was time to leave my job. What do I do? And in that, I heard God's voice, and he said, you have everything that you need.
Wow.
The gifts that I gave you.
Wow.
And so in that season, I had to serve other people with the gifts that God gave me. Mind you, like I said, I went to school for graphic design, and those was the gifts that I had since I was in middle and high school, like just drawing, doing art.
Yeah.
And so I went back to that. I resorted back to that. And I was still being diligent in my music, but I'm serving other people.
Yeah.
And so I started designing people's cover arts, designing people's merchandise, and actually pressing their shirts, delivering it to them the same day. Like I'm literally like hustling.
Wow.
Like this is how
Wow.
much I want to serve. This is how much I'm being diligent in this. Like in this season that I'm in right now, I'm going to serve you like you are the top artist in the world. And these were local, you know what I'm saying? And then God sparked something else in me. I went to different businesses. I was like, yo, I started a t-shirt business. Do y'all need anything? The first day I tried this, I got an auto repair shop. And they're like, yeah, we actually got these uniforms in, but we don't have anybody to print our logo and stuff on them. Perfect time. They had just ordered them, mind you.
Wow.
Ordered them, and it was in the owner's trunk.
Wow.
I just happened to show up this same day, and I'm like, yo, I'm doing this thing. I'm knocking out t-shirts. Da 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 da. Do you guys have anything like that y'all trying to do? Da da da. It's like, yeah, we just ordered these uniforms, and we needed somebody to press them for us.
Wow.
I said, thank you, God. I did it the same day, turned it around. He was like, yo, we got to hit you up for our next shop. I said, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So God always had a ram in the bush, no pun intended, because I got a song called Ram in the Bush. And it was literally dealing with that, like dealing with like how God always provided, everything that we needed when we needed it. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, that season was so crazy looking back because it all worked out. Like literally everything worked out, bro. And in those seasons, in those moments, it's like we're blind to seeing God move in it because we're literally seeing where we're at in that moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy looking back now, but man, God been blowing my mind for years.
Yeah,
like, for real.
That's dope. That's a dope testimony, man. Of like even and hopefully somebody you be watching this and hear that testimony because there's so many people like leave a job.
Yeah.
Sometimes they leave it on the way of the Lord leading them to, and then sometimes people leave it because they feel like God is telling them to leave it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something good. Like, but then that reassurance that He gave you about everything you need is in you. Like I've given you everything you need, and that's a blessing, man. Like as you look at that, like did you have to like sit down and write a list of like, okay, God, like, okay, you give me this, you give me all this talent, you know what I mean? Or was it just know?
It was just a moment of me sitting in my studio, and I literally knew I had the gifts of art. I knew I had the gifts of graphic design, and I just started from scratch and literally just started creating and just hitting up people. So I would make a design and say, yo, calling independent artists. Like if you are an independent artist and you're trying to build your brand or build this and da 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 da. Like I was super commercial, you know what I'm saying? Like just trying to create like some income. Like that's literally what I was trying to do. And like just leaning on the gifts that I already had. And so I made these designs. I posted it on Facebook. and started getting hit up from people like that. So I'm like, yo, God, I guess this is what you want me to do in this season. So I literally had to be like liquid in every season, after leaving my job, even in the midst of being at the job, but just flowing like liquid and being able to be keen to the spirit and knowing when a shift is to occur. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, like I said, in 2020, everybody was doing challenges. Everybody was doing like these different things. And like, I literally made it a thing to where I was going to do every single challenge that popped up.
Wow.
Yeah, just to showcase what God was doing in me, but also sharpening my gifts as well.
Yeah.
So I was being diligent in that and being diligent in serving other people. And God used all of that for my good. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Now I'm doing any genre I could think of, any genre that I actually want to do. I could do that now because I did every single remix. I've done every single challenge. I've done all of these different things and I serve people. You know what I'm saying? And the word of God says, like, God is diligent. Like the people that are diligent in seeking him, he will reward them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm literally walking in the rewards, you know what I'm saying, even now.
Wow.
Because of how diligent I was during those seasons.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro.
It's man, talk about like I start seeing you like people be Simone, the people like people started getting used to like how did that happen? Like how did your stuff start getting on people's radar, man?
I literally have no idea. That's how good God is. Like I was talking about this too, like a couple days ago, for the last interview I did. Like just different things that you can't make up. You know what I'm saying? Things that happen, like you can't even imagine. So I don't know how I got on their radar. Megan Ashley, I guess she was like driving in the car, something like she played my song "Forgive Him."
Yeah.
And B Simone was in the car, whatever. So this was the story that they were telling on their podcast.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even know this was going to happen, but one of my friends that I was in, so he was a part of the Jerk crew that I had in college, and his wife was a subscriber to their Patreon.
Yeah.
And so she saw this video of their podcast episode before it even came out. And so she hit me up, and then he hit me up and was like, bro, my wife just hit you on Instagram, B Simone, and them is rocking with your music. I said, what? Wilding out, like, why is she listening to my music? Like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? And he's like, bro, check it out. Like, my wife, she sent you a screenshot. I'm like, okay, bet. So I checked out the video. So I couldn't even post about it until it was time, until they actually released the episode.
Got you.
And so, mind you, like before it even happened, I had seen Megan Ashley tapping in with some of my videos and stuff. And then I seen B Simone tapping in with the Under the Influence. And around this time, a lot of different people that I looked at was famous was looking at my stuff. Like it was just, it was random. You know what I'm saying? So that's when Jacqueline Carr started tapping in with my music.
Yeah.
Jay Moss started tapping in with my music. And so a ton of like gospel people, but then a ton of like just industry people from like acting, from movies, from just different things. People was tapping in. I don't know where it came from or how it happened. I was just doing the remixes and I was still being consistent with my actual music, like I was saying. Yeah. And so Forgive Him was just one of them songs that just happened to, resonate with them in that time. And so, yeah, like when they finally released that episode, it was so crazy. And I was ready. I was ready for that episode to drop because I was like, man, I'm about to post this video. I'm about to be like, yo, be someone of them shouting me out on their podcast. Da, da, da. And so it went from there, from them just shouting me out to them having me actually on their podcast.
Wow.
They're telling me like, yo, how inspired they were from my music and from the songs that I've been creating. And they're literally quoting my songs. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Even to this day, they'll still tap in. I still talk to B Simone. I still talk to Megan Ashley to this day, just because they like literally love the music that I create. They love the person that I am, the child of God that I am, like just different things.
Yeah.
They kind of rocked with. And so we had even talked about doing a remix to Forgive Them at that time. They had their joint podcast, but now they both have their separate podcast they're doing. And so, shout out to them. Definitely still proud of their walks. Megan Ashley is still like strong and devoted. I can't talk. Devoted to her walk with Christ is what I was trying to say. And I think B Simone is too. They both have their different paths as well.
Yeah.
Simone is still in the industry and still doing her thing with acting and wilding out and all that stuff. So, definitely shout out to them. But even like I said, Jacqueline Carr, like just tapping in with my music. She was locking in with the Greenhouse Project, and she heard Reminisce. She said that was like her favorite song. I was like, yo, I would love to have you on the deluxe. And so I was creating the songs, and the song that she's on, which is Hands on Me, was originally a song for KB.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I was literally.
Oh wait. So you're writing songs for people now?
I was writing a song. I was writing that song for KB. I had KB in mind when I wrote that song, and I was just writing the hook.
Oh, got you.
Mind you, like he's on this wave of taking a song that's like from like a gospel song, but flipping it, making it modern, like either drill or just rap. And so I was like, yo, I would love to work with her. And at that time, I was it was talks of me signing to HGA.
Oh wow,
because it didn't happen and stuff like that. So around that time is when I won his challenge. I won both the King Jesus and the 10K challenge. And so I think it was the King Jesus challenge that made them like, yo, maybe you can sign Mike, we can, bring him on to HGA. And I was like, God, if this is what you want, what I'm saying, I'm with it. Because KB was like my favorite Christian rapper. When I really was diving into Christian hip hop, he was like my favorite Christian rapper. And I literally studied that man to the point where I started sounding like him. I was like, okay, I got to take a break. I got to take a little break. But like, it was going to be like full circle moment for me. And I was like, yo, man, I want to do this. I want this, I want to make this happen. But I was like, God, now, if this is not what you want, then don't allow it. And it didn't happen. And I was mad at God. I was like, God, this is what I want. I thought this was it. Like, this is going to be my break. I wanted this to happen. And it just did not happen. God didn't allow it. And I'm grateful now, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though I still reverence him as like one of the, greatest in the space and stuff like that. Would still love to have our own collaboration, even though I'm on the King Jesus Part 2. I would love to have our own song, but it's just God just didn't allow that path to happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy how all those things transpired during that season, and like just having different platforms, even like the Shade Room posted me out of nowhere. I'm like, God, what's going on? Because I have no shade to give, you know what I'm saying? But they posted Roll the Stone Away. Of all the songs they could post, they posted Roll the Stone Away.
Yeah.
Literally made the song trend. I don't even know. I think it was like number 7 in trending songs, and
oh wow,
crazy viral and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, this is insane. And this is a song that I'm talking about, my suicidal thoughts and depression and things that I was dealing with, but God just rolled the things away, and they posted on the Shade Room. Like that's crazy. And so, like I said, people that was reaching out and tapping in, I would not expect. Monique, like
the comedian?
Yes, the comedian Monique, Chili from TLC, just like different people that I was looking at from when I was a child, growing up. Now they tapping in with the music, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And so
I'm sorry to cut you off, bro.
Nah, you good.
What is going on with Christian hip hop, bro? Like, what is going on that people from the mainstream are tapping in? Like, and you are one of the ones, but then there's other people getting their stuff that you be online and then you be like, oh snap, somebody just, you know what I mean? Or like Proper Excel or somebody post that, yo, somebody did this with the music. And it's like, where are these folks getting like the music from?
Social media, bro. It's gotta be. And like I said, I feel like I was one of the ones that caught the beginning of the wave. You know what I'm saying? So there was me, there was Miles, there was Caleb. Like, we all caught the beginning of the wave and the explosion of Christian hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been going on for years. Like, hip hop has been alive and been around for some years. But when social media hit and they found these niche, specific type of videos and stuff, and Instagram and TikTok, shout out to them, they started, pushing us out there. Like, we found like a little gateway, and different ones just kind of shot out of it. You know what I'm saying? So, and even like Kieran the Light, like he was one of the ones too, like was going crazy on TikTok before I even got on TikTok. He was already going crazy on there. And he's like just super bar heavy, lyrical kind of guy. And his videos are just working. You know what I'm saying? And so when we finally all, just got on there, being consistent on TikTok, we found a gateway, and that just opened up. And I feel like it literally was a point where when the doors opened up, it showcased, okay, if y'all like Mike Tezy, then you might like this other guy, or you might like other dude. And so they just started showcasing more people. And so now you got people like Geo that shot up out of it feels like out of nowhere, but he's been doing it for a minute. Like the times that I was doing the remixes and the challenges and all of that stuff, he was doing the challenges too and wasn't getting the love and respect that he felt like he deserved as well. And so now looking at him, he got to deal with, I think, Capital or something like that. Like, things happen because of that gate that opened up, you know what I'm saying, with social media. And so, and there's so many people in the industry that are publicly like saying things like they're saying, like, I'm literally trying to walk with God now. I'm literally trying to do this thing. And so like showcasing that, and then they're saying like, yo, I actually listened to this guy or I listened to this guy. Like, you know, the Dwight Howard that posted Caleb and like things like that. I'm like, yo, like this is fire because this is what we're in now. And like we're literally in the industry, even though, you know, we're looked at as this like little sub genre or this little bubble.
Yeah,
we're in the industry. Like we're literally influencing people that are in the industry and in sports, in music, and movies, like just different ones. Like we're literally influencing them now. You know what I'm saying? And so it's even crazy because I did the Abar song remix, and that joint got 7 million views. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? This is country. Like I never even thought of doing country, but now I have that gift as well. I can do country if I wanted to do it. But I have people that's in the country space reaching out. Thomas Rhett reached out and said his kids listen to my song every day. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And now he just got a song with Forrest Frank. I'm like, dang, I'm supposed to be the first one to do it. You know, I was a little mad. I ain't gonna lie. I was a little upset because I was like, yo, Thomas, I thought we had a thing going. I was looking at this song because your kids listen to me every day. So yeah. I'm still trying to do that too. But it's crazy, bro. It's literally crazy, man.
I love it, man. I love it. And I say this all the time to people, man, because I've been in this for quite some time, bro. Behind the scenes, you know what I mean? I feel like you guys' generation is the generation that I could tell, even and to a certain extent, the popular people. I would say the popular people, you guys are like, we are together. Yeah, that's my brother, that's my sister. Yeah, you may think one way, but we are Christians and we love each other. So let's work. Yeah. For years, that wasn't the thing in Christian hip hop. Honestly, it wasn't at all.
It's still a little bit.
It is a little bit, but for me, I feel like God is putting his hands on you guys. Yeah. Because hold the whole genre, because it's not as divided as it once was. Facts. Now, I'm not saying you may not have people still not rocking with certain people because of certain things, but overall, from your generation, like that, I would say that 2010, late 2010 to now generation, you guys are locking in with each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you may, like I said, your background may be something totally different background than John Keith's, but y'all like, yo, that's my brother in Christ, so let's rock. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas years ago, this guy and this guy, they may know each other at shows, but they would never rock because their theology was, one person was in this theology and this person was in that theology. You know what I'm saying? So I think God honors unity, man. And I think if we would have known that, this genre would have been bigger than it was.
Man, for real. Because one can chase 1,000, but two, 10, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, man, I've always had the desire to just like continue to work with this other people. Like I said before, I'm not a respecter of person to where it's like, I won't work with you. I won't work with you. I'm trying to work with everybody because I feel like it's going to reach somebody else at the end of the day. Like your platform could reach somebody that I might not ever be able to reach. You know what I'm saying? And so I love that I still have brothers in Christ. I still have, sisters in Christ that I can just, rock with and not even have to do a song with them, but just support them. You know, so I'll pull up to people's shows. People don't even know I'm in the building. Like I'm just there just to support. Like I literally just pulled up to Alex Jean's show in Charlotte. Just to show love. I'm not on the lineup or nothing. I'm just showing up just to show face and say I support you because I remember before he even had his explosion. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the car in Orlando, I think we were about to shoot either I think we were shooting Forgive Him or Bible Going Viral, one of those videos we were shooting. And me and him was just chilling in the car. I was letting him hear the Greenhouse Project before it even dropped. He's like, bro, I need to get on this album, man. It sounds too beautiful. Like, this is crazy. Like, bro, I already turned it in. You know what I'm saying? We can still do something. Yeah. His explosion happened out of here. You know what I'm saying? And so I just still love, that's who I am as a person. I just love supporting people. And so I used to just pull up to Atlanta even if somebody came in town, they had a concert like Miles. If he came from the West Coast to Atlanta, I'd pull up just to drive down there just to support him because we've been locked in since 2015. And it's crazy how our testimonies like kind of collide because he worked at the bank too, but he just left his job and well, he got fired. He got fired. And I just left, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we got similar testimonies when it comes to that. And you know, how his career is taking off too. Like I'm proud of him as well.
Yeah.
And I'm still supporting, you know what I'm saying, to this day. So like I said, if people in the secular world can work together, why can't we?
Yeah.
Like, really pulling up and pulling up on stage together in swarms of people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just to show their support and love for one another. I'm like, why can't we do that? Like, why can't we do the same thing in this space? You know what I'm saying? So
bro, man, this has been good, bro. I've enjoyed so much of this. You know what I'm saying? And I just have one question before I get into my this or that.
Okay.
What album do you feel like just was the big shift for you? Like I feel like Greenhouse, but maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah, I would definitely say the Greenhouse Project for sure. And like there was like multiple shifts in my career. Like I feel like Harvest, like I said, was like the deluxe thing with all the projects together. That was the shift in like my branding and stuff. And like figuring out like, you know, what it is that I stand for and all of that good stuff. But I feel like the Greenhouse Project was like, I'm standing on this. Like I felt like I found my sound, my confidence as an artist to be able to do these different sounds and be like, he's not trying to be anybody. He's just being himself. You know what I'm saying? Like just creating these sounds because he loves rapping. He loves the hip hop. He loves the trap. He loves the R&B. He loves Afro. He loves pop. He loves all these different sounds. But to be able to execute them, you know what I'm saying, is a different thing. Like you can love something all day long, but to be able to create it and actually do it well, I think that says a lot. So I definitely say the Greenhouse Project for sure.
Yeah, that is an amazing project. I remember hearing it. I was like, I embrace people's giftings. You know what I'm saying? And I embrace people's hybridness of who they are. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy if you can rap and sing. I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like I don't say it's either or. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now I will say if I heard you as a rapper and you're a good rapper, but you're not like a singer or vice versa, I would be like, I don't know. But you do those two very, very, very well, my G. So, bro, it was an honor. All right, man. Are you you ready?
Yes,
sir. For Mike Tezy's This or That?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right, man. Here we go. I got 10 for you. All right.
Okay.
Mike Tezy, This or That. The first one. Restaurants, I believe this is. Sweet potatoes or Slappy's chicken?
Sweet potatoes or what, Johnny chicken?
Slappy's chicken?
Never had it, so I'm gonna say sweet potatoes.
Okay. Hanging out at Bally's Park or driving through Renato Gardens? Renato's Gardens.
Park or gardens? I'm gonna go with gardens since we Harvest Land. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Camel City Barbecue or King's Hot Dogs?
I'm gonna go with the barbecue.
The barbecue? Okay. Yeah. All right. If you're back in the day when you was a kid and they told you to dance, who would you rather dance like? Michael Jackson or James Brown?
That's tough, but I'm gonna go with MJ.
MJ? Okay.
Yeah.
Your collaboration with Kel Mitchell on Who Want It remix or your feature on King Jesus Part 2? Hey, here's my only thing. If you say both, then you have to share the love of God with somebody this week.
Oh, I'm gonna do that anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna answer. I think my answer. I'm gonna go with King Jesus Part 2.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It showcased a lot of unity, and that's fire for sure.
Got you.
Yeah.
Remaking a current hit or remaking a classic record?
Dang, that's tough. I say a classic.
A classic?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with classic. Yeah.
Got you. All right, the Greenhouse Project or New Leaf?
I'm gonna go with both on this. Y'all gonna get New Leaf right now. Let's go. It is crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
All right, so you said both?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with both.
Okay, okay. Your cosign from the industry, or your cosign from like the gospel world?
That's tough. That's tough. You only get one both, huh?
No, this ain't like line for line. You can get whatever.
Okay.
But you just gotta share God, bro. That's all I ask. Share the Lord, the love of the Lord with people.
Dang, it's tough.
You know, okay, I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, I want to say both because I grew up on gospel, but it's just super dope to influence influencers. You know what I mean?
Got you. Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with both on that one too. That's tough.
All right, man. I have two more, and then I'm gonna let you go. On the radar, being on the radar, or being on BET Jams.
I'm gonna go with BET. Like, yeah, period. Like, just being on
really?
BET,
Oh wow.
fire. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
They actually supposed to be on the BET like page too. I'm like, yo, this is
wow.
Yeah, I'm like, what? You can't ask for this stuff. It's crazy.
All right, man. This is my last one.
Okay.
Last this or that. And I've asked a couple people this already.
Okay.
Are you a Christian rapper or a rapper who is Christian?
I'm a Christian. For one. I'm a Christian artist. How about that? I'm a Christian artist.
Got you. Got you.
Go with that. That's been a conversation for the past 55 years. No. That's crazy. Yeah.
That's amazing, bro.
Yes, sir.
Man, thank you so much, man. Promote your platform, promote what you got going on, man.
Yes.
Share your love to the Kingdom citizens, bro.
Listen, man, tap in with me on Instagram and TikTok at official Mike Tezy. You can find me on YouTube, just Mike Tezy, or whatever streaming platform that you prefer. You know what I'm saying? Tap in with the music. We got a lot out there, and we got a lot on the way. I done dropped 7 singles already this year. You know what I'm saying? With another one on the way in a week. So yeah. Stay tapped in, stay locked in. We got a lot on the way, and I'm excited for it for sure.
Thank you, my brother.
We
are out, Kingdom citizens. Remember, Kingdom Ox on every social media.
Yes.
Thanks, Mike Tezy. We are out.
Peace.